Welcome back to day 3 of our extended response in science. Today we're working on revision and we're focusing our revision on interpretation. I've noticed that a lot of your interpretation is just repeating your claim or your evidence over and over and over. In interpretation, we actually want to say something new, and the reason that we give interpretation is to explain how the quote that we chose actually supports our claim. We can also try to explore change over time or offer a comparison. I know you guys have seen these before. These are the interpretation phrases that we can use. For the most part, you guys do a great job of using these phrases. What we just want to work on is what comes after them and make sure we say how the quote supports our claim, explore change over time, or give a comparison. So I want to show you, this is a really bad example of interpretation. And it says, Hannah was inspired by watching Janelle Reardon, a professional storyteller, perform at a birthday party. The article states, Hannah knew then that she wanted to become a storyteller too. And here's their interpretation. This shows Hannah knew she wanted to be a storyteller. Well, duh, our quote just said that. We don't want to repeat that over and over. We're going to bore our readers to death. They already saw that. So we're going to revise this and see if we can find something new to say. So let's look at our first strategy. Say how the quote supports the claim. Instead, we could say, this shows that watching Janelle is what inspired her to be a storyteller. That's new information, and that explains how the quote supports our claim. So that would be a great example of interpretation. Let's look at another example. Maybe you want to explore how things have changed over time. So we could say, this is important because earlier in the text, her mom didn't want to hear her stories, but now an adult inspired her to tell even more stories. So that would be another great example of interpretation, saying how things have changed over time. We could say earlier this happened, but now this happened. Our last strategy is to offer a comparison. So we could say, unlike Jordan, Hannah wasn't trained by an adult. She was just inspired by one. So these are 3 different ways that we could give interpretation, so we are not just repeating our claim over and over and over. I want to show you 3 examples of students who have used great interpretation, and we're going to see which strategy they used. So this one says, here's their claim first. Both texts teach to not underestimate a woman. In Wheels of Change, it says, his music makes the crowd laugh, cry, shout, and swoon at just the right moments. This is important because Emily said his music. She thought it was a man, but it was a woman. In Around the World, it said, no one but a man can do this. The manager of Nellie said that men could be the only ones to do this. So I really love her first piece of interpretation right here, because she explained why or how her quote supports her claim. So she used the first strategy. Let's check out another student's interpretation. Their claim was, in text 1, the author develops the theme by showing a woman travel around the world. In text 2, the author develops the theme by showing a woman playing the piano. According to the article, Wheels of Change, did you see the woman playing the piano? I didn't know girls could have such a job. Text 2 states she met her challenge. And here's her interpretation. This is important because the women did things other people thought they couldn't. So this type of interpretation is a mix of both, I think. I think she's offering a comparison of what people thought they could do and then what they actually could do. But I think her interpretation also shows how her quote supports her claim. So she kind of used 2 strategies here. Let's look at one more student's example. His claim was, both texts teach not to underestimate women. For example, my mouth falls open and I can't stop staring at what I see. A woman. This shows that she was excited that it was a woman because she thought the music was from a man. All right, so this piece of interpretation was saying how the quote supports his claim. Let's check out the second. In addition, newspaper readers were fascinated, but they didn't believe Nellie Bly was really a woman. They thought men were writing the articles. Also, Nellie Bly beat the 80-day goal. She also invented a new style of journalism. She reported to her readers what she saw, thought, and felt during her adventure. This shows they thought men were writing it. But when Nellie beat the 80-day goal, they changed their minds that women can do anything. So I love this second piece of interpretation, and he was able to explore change over time. So at first, they thought only men could do this, but later, Nellie Bly proved them wrong, and now they believe that women can do everything. So the 3 types of interpretation that you can use in your extended response today is 1, say how the quote supports your claim, 2, explore change over time, and 3, offer a comparison. So I want you to reread your interpretation from your draft the other day. Make sure it says something new. Do not repeat your claim or your quote. And then you have 3 options. Say how your quote supports your claim, explore change over time, or offer a comparison. Finally, check your work against the checklist before you click Turn In when you are finished. Good luck and happy working!